Did you understood it up to this much point?
Ma'am, sorry to interrupt you. I
Yeah.
just want to know the washout period again, please, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Suppose there is two group A and group B. One group you are giving vitamin A. Another group you are giving placebo, right? This is called what? Randomized control trial, right? Up
Yes,
to this
ma'am.
you are okay.
Yes.
Now you tell me, if you want to give placebo to group A and you are interchanging the drug, you are giving opposite drug to both the group, you can give or not? You can give both the drug, both the group. You can or not? Tell me. You
Yes,
can.
can be given. In
You
that
can.
case, both group are taking both drugs, like placebo and also
Yes,
the drugs.
vitamin A. Yes, very good. Now there is needed in between these two drugs. You need to give a pause. You need to give a time. That is called washout period. Why this washout period is important? Can you tell me why this period is important?
So that the two drugs cannot
Cross
any
react.
cross reaction occur.
Yes. So
It's
that I can
time
understand.
for washing out the first drug from through the urine or.
Very good. Very good.
So, ma'am, it means in the end, both the group will be having both drugs, but the study result will be different, right? Like we'll start one drug is for group A, we'll start vitamin A. For B, we'll start placebo. But after some time, we will interchange and we'll start both the drugs in both the groups, right?
Very good. Yes.
Okay. So this is what. Okay.
Washout period. Yeah. This washout period is important so that I can understand the effect of primary drug, and then I can compare with the secondary placebo or secondary drug.
Okay.
Now it's clear, ma'am. Thank you.
Thanks, ma'am. Thanks.
And another thing is that in this placebo control trial, you need a small trial. If you want to do this is called crossover trial. You need to do a small number of population. Why? Because interchanging the drug, washout period, it needs so much time, right? It needs so much expertise. So you need to take a small population. Population means what? Data. Population means patient, right? So you need a small number of patient. You got my point? So
yes,
in a large trial, you cannot do this crossover trial. A crossover trial needs, and crossover is also costly. Why? Because both the group are getting capsule or drug that is costly. But in simple randomized control trial, you are giving one drug to one group and another drug to another group. You are not giving both the group. So crossover trial are costly. Crossover trial are time consuming. Crossover trial needs more expertise, and crossover trial you cannot do in a large population. And crossover trial is very, very good study. More good than randomized control trial. Better than randomized control trial. You got my point? I hope it's clear now, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so benefit of neonatal vitamin A was not significant in this study. And also, not only this study, it was not significant in other country trial. Okay, it was not significant in other country trial. Now, negative control group has inactive placebo, but positive control group has active previous treatment. So what does it mean? What does it mean? Negative control and positive control, inactive placebo, but positive control group has active previous treatment. What does it mean? Negative control group means placebo. Negative control means placebo versus new drug. Suppose you are checking a drug called anakinra. Suppose anakinra is a very new drug, right? You are checking a new drug, anakinra. But anakinra is very, very costly. So you are checking with a placebo. You are comparing with a placebo. This is called negative control drug, negative control trial. You got my point? What is negative control? When you compare any new drug with the placebo. This is called negative control study. What do you mean by positive control study? Suppose you are comparing anakinra with tocilizumab. Suppose tocilizumab is an old drug, anakinra is a new drug, and you are comparing tocilizumab with the anakinra. This is called positive control study because you are comparing with the old drug versus new drug. So one study you can do that you can compare with the placebo. This placebo study we do usually when the drug is very costly and when the drug is alone in the family. Suppose I am the single child in the family, so there is no other child to compare. There is no peer, no brother, no sister. When then, and also when the very costly drug, we do placebo control study. Suppose when the first drug of coronavirus invented, first vaccine, there was no other vaccine to compare. So, right, so that was the negative control study. But when the different Moderna, like different kinds of vaccines are coming, so I can compare with this vaccine with that vaccine, that will be a positive control study. Is it okay now? You understood or no? Positive and negative control study is very easy, right? Now, larger the population, smaller will be the confidence interval, more precise, it is your result is closer. I told you that if the confidence interval, suppose my income is 1.2 million to 1.3 million, that means confidence interval is very small, right? 1.2 million to 1.3 million. That means confidence interval is very small. It is more precise. And that means my population is large. My study population was very large. So smaller the confidence interval, you can say more perfectly, more precisely that my result is in between 1.2 million to 1.3 million. So smaller confidence interval is better. That means the population is large. My study is a large study, okay? Large population means what? More data, more people, more patient, right? If confidence interval does not cross one, that means it is significant. Does not cross one, it is significant. Yes, we already know that in case of relative risk or odds ratio, if the confidence interval crosses one, it is not significant. So if the confidence interval does not cross one, it is significant. Then null hypothesis is rejected, means our theory is proved. In my part 1 class, okay, last Friday or something, I teach my students what is null hypothesis rejected, null hypothesis established. That means when you are doing some study, you want to prove something. Suppose you want to prove that vitamin A is better than placebo. Suppose this is called your hypothesis, right? But in your study, you found that vitamin A is not better, does not have more significance than the placebo. That means vitamin A has no effect on neonate. So this is called null hypothesis. That means your theory is proved, that is very good, but your theory did not prove, your theory came wrong. That means null, wrong. That is also good. How? You are not giving vitamin A to the neonate, right? So remember, null hypothesis proved. This is also a very, very good study. In our country, like people think that if I do the study, then it should be proved. Okay, it should be proved. What is that she's saying? Sorry, someone is messaging in the group. Having internet issue, can you please let me into meeting? Yes. Why not? Who is that? Dr. Nadole. Okay. Okay. So yeah.
Ma'am, I have a question. Just we learned few minutes ago that in crossover trial, it is better to be in a short group or short larger population. That is more significant. But here they are saying that larger the population and the result is more closer or more significant.
Yeah. You will not do crossover in this trial. I'm saying that if you want to do crossover, that should be a small trial. That should not be a large trial. This study they did not give crossover. This study, they did not do crossover. They did normal randomized control. This is just your information. They give some information about crossover.
Okay.
Yeah, very good. That means you have question, means you understood very good. If you have no question, that means you understood nothing. Right? Okay.
Either everything or either nothing.
Yes, yeah, either everything or either nothing. And I'm very happy. I'm very happy, mashallah, Your group is excellent. My last group, AKP, they passed 100%. And this group, you are also excellent group. I wish you also pass 100%, inshallah. So because you all people are very active. Okay, Dr. Tahir gave us very good feedback about your participation. And I also find that, yes, you are very participating. Okay, so larger the population, smaller the confidence interval, it is very good study. Okay, you will get a good result. If confidence interval does not cross 1, we know it is significant, the null hypothesis is rejected and your theory is proved. So remember that your theory proved, null hypothesis rejected, both are good study. Both are good study. Your theory did not prove, null hypothesis proved. That is also a very good study. That is called a negative study. Tarmane, you wanted to prove that vitamin A is very good, but you could not prove. So that's why million neonate, we are not giving vitamin A. That is, in the world, positive people are important. Similarly, negative people are also important. Why? Because of these negative people, we understand how blessed we are. How blessed we are, right? If you don't see black, you cannot admire white. This is my understanding. So positive study, negative study, both are very important. Okay. Chapter 40. So this is the last page, chapter 40. Okay. After that, immunology. Okay. Chapter 40, in this question, relative risk and confidence interval did not cross 1. See, did not cross 1 point. So it is significant study. In case of odds ratio or relative risk, confidence interval should not cross 1. And in case of mean, confidence interval should not cross 0. We already did. Dr. Hevin and Dr. Annapurani, please see this slide. We already read this slide, okay? Dr. Hevin, you are here or no? Okay, this formula is very important. Here, Mom. Okay, this is very important, that in confidence interval is 2 type. Okay, number 1 is for mean, another is for ratio, odds ratio, relative risk. In case of confidence interval for mean, it should not cross 0. Confidence interval for mean, it should not cross 0. And in case confidence interval for relative risk or odds ratio, it should not cross 1. Just remember like a story, remember like a nursery rhyme. It should not cross 1, it should not cross 0, like a nursery rhyme, Baba Black Sheep, like that. So this is the main target of your AKP statistics main question. Okay. Okay. Alhamdulillah. So any more point you want to discuss from this? Okay. We finished this question. Okay.